What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Nerdy Mark channel. I am Sid the Nerdy Mark, and today I have your review of AEW Dynamite and NXT. So it is Halloween, I know, and I am a huge proprietor of this holiday and this season and everything, and I really enjoy all the costumes and the candy and everything like that. But unfortunately, this year I am not dressing up. I was thinking about doing some special thing for Halloween, but I don't really have time, so I'm very sorry. As you all know, I am doing the full gear challenge if you follow my Instagram, so I will be cosplaying as a wrestler next year. But this year, I'm sorry, I'm not doing anything for Halloween. I apologize. I know it's way too late anyway, so it is what it is, but I hope you guys can forgive me. So I just wanted to put that out there first. So as usual, let's begin with the question mark. Now, the question that I asked last week was if 205 Live should be on the YouTube channel for WWE. And this time I did get an answer from the other member of Armbar Audio, John Kearns, and he says that it absolutely should, because for some reason there are still people who don't have the network. I can see that, yes. Because I personally do agree, because, 205 Live, first of all, is a great show, and more people should watch it. And, like my buddy John is saying, a lot of people do not have the network, so they actually can't really watch it. But if they do put it on YouTube, it'll honestly reach a wider audience, and I feel like more people will actually view the product, and also it deserves to get viewed. But yeah, so I agree with John's answer completely. So, here is this week's question, and what's this? Okay, well, I don't know what that was, sorry. Today's question is this. We did actually have Cody Rhodes and Chris Jericho and their contract signing, and we will get into that a little later. But early prediction, I do feel like Jericho is retaining. But my personal question to you, and it's a pretty simple one. Who do you think should take the title off of Chris Jericho? Leave all your thoughts and comments in the comments section below, and your response could be featured on next week's video. So let's begin with AEW Dynamite. Now we start this show off with Hangman Page taking on Sammy G, aka the sexy Spanish god, as dubbed by Le Champion Chris Jericho. This was a fine match. I didn't think it was anything spectacular or anything like that, but I liked it. Both men are extremely agile and extremely athletic. Sammy G does show off some strength when he actually picks up Adam Page on his shoulders and kind of deadlifts him before hitting him with a Samoan drop. That was pretty cool. Just a lot of good stuff here, but finally Adam Page did hit the buckshot lariat onto Sammy G to win the match. Afterwards, he got on the mic and decided to cut a promo on Pac, who he is set to face off at Full Gear once again. This was a good promo too. He said that he's going to do some cowboy shit and knock Pac's head off with a lariat. So that was a fine promo, fine match. Let's move on. We now get set for women's action as Hikaru Shida takes on Shayna. And, Shayna, this is like her first match on AEW. I'm guessing she is enhancement talent, but I wouldn't say this was a squash match, because Shayna did bring it to Shida for the most part. Matter of fact, I think Shayna got just a little bit more offense in than Hikaru did. But either way, this was a decent match as well. Hikaru Shida finally hits the Shining Wizard to beat Shayna. Hopefully this helps her get back into her winning ways. Maybe she could be in women's title contention at some point. We don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. So last week, Brandi Rhodes was behaving very peculiarly when she attacked Jamie Hayter during her interview, and then just kind of gave the interviewer the death stare. So we wonder what's going on. We get a bit of a vignette where we see that Awesome Kong and Brandi are in a promo, and they have this vignette. Brandy's basically doing a lot of voodoo, and Awesome Kong has like a bunch of wigs and a meat cleaver. So in other words, this is how I guess their relationship formed. I guess Awesome Kong taught Brandy how to do voodoo, and now Brandy is like possessed by Awesome Kong. I don't know what's going on in this segment, but okay, let's just, I guess I'll just be patient and let it play out. But this kind of confused me. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm still intrigued. But we'll see what happens. We now have the Rock and Roll Express coming out to introduce the AEW Tag Team titles, and might I say, they look pretty sweet. Chris Van Vliet is interviewing them, but they don't get too far in the interview when Santana and Ortiz, who are now branded as Proud and Powerful, they come in and just completely destroy the Rock and Roll Express, and just absolutely disrespecting them, doing what they have to do, to kind of get their names known out there. So it looks like they will be in title contention sooner than later. But of course, the Young Bucks do come out and ward them off. They are, of course, having a match against them at Full Gear, so that should be really good. But yeah, fine segment here. The titles look really, really nice. And we do crown new tag team champions this week. We'll talk about that when we talk about the main event. What is this? What the hell? Okay, it's my Kenny Omega shirt. What is it doing here? Okay. Yeah, whatever. We do have our next match. We have the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy taking on John Silver, QT Marshall, and Alex Reynolds. And this was pretty cool because the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy are introduced by Rick and Morty. That was pretty cool. That whole thing was like Rick and Morty was going to be incorporated into this week's episode. That was pretty awesome. For those who don't know, I am a huge Rick and Morty fan. Really good to see that. Apparently, their episodes will be airing on TNT after Full Gear, so that should be really awesome. But anyway, fine match here. We had Orange Cassidy and Chucky T dressed up as Rick, and Beretta dressed up as Morty. The Best Friends and Cassidy win the match. Nothing else to really say here. It was a good, fun tag team match. It is now time for the official contract signing between Chris Jericho and Cody for their match for the AEW World Championship at Full Gear. The contract signing is happening at the Ramp. There are some very subtle barbs at WWE a little bit in this segment when Chris Jericho threatens to flip the table over and stuff like that, just like how many contract signings in WWE go, or matter of fact, all contract signings go in WWE. But Chris Jericho cuts a very good promo while wearing a pumpkin infested blazer, which honestly looks kind of ridiculous. He's not doing anything fishy, or so it seems. So they both sign the contract. They have a stare down, but Sammy G appears on the Titantron, and he is next to the limo in which Cody Rhodes came in, and we see Jake Hager and Dustin going at it, and Jake Hager obviously bringing the hurt to Dustin. Cody goes up and checks on Dustin Rhodes, while Hager, Jericho, and Guevara leave in their car. Jericho lights up a cigar, and he tells Cody that he needs to take Dustin to the hospital, and he walks off. By the way, the man did not light that cigar properly, but hey, you know what? It was kind of cool seeing Chris Jericho smoking a cigar. I just thought that was fine. But good promo here, really good segment, really enjoyed it. Very, very excited for their match at Full Gear, which is supposed to go for a 60-minute time limit, and if the match goes past the time limit, there will be 3 judges who do decide the winner. We will talk more about this on this week's episode of Armbar Nerds, so be on the lookout for that. But nevertheless, fantastic promo, very good presentation throughout. Next up, we do have the Hybrid 2 and Kip Sabian taking on the Elite, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. We have a really cool intro for Kenny Omega. It's kind of like the Undertale intro that he had in Wrestle Kingdom 13 when he faced off against Tanahashi. That was really, really cool. It had basically the New Japan logo, but it looked like the devil, and it was kind of compelling him to go back to his cleaner ways, Kenny Omega, that is. Then we had Kenny Omega finally come out saying that he's not going to do it. He came out dressed up as the character Sans from Undertale. Bucks dressed up as Ryu and Ken like they did at Fyter Fest. So this was a great match. You had the Hybrid 2 and Sabian just take it to the Elite early on, but the Elite do bounce back pretty quickly. Very fast-paced, high-octane match here. Just all the athleticism in the world. All 6 of these men just laying it all out on the line in this amazing match. Just a really good stuff here. But finally, Omega does put, I believe, Angelico away with Jack Evans. He puts Jack Evans away with the One-Winged Angel. After the match, we do have the Bucks shaking hands with the fans. 2 fans dressed up in Rick and Morty masks do not let go of the Bucks. They take their masks off to reveal Santana and Ortiz. They're back at it again, and they beat up on the Young Bucks. Kenny Omega drives them off, and that's how we end this segment. We now have Peter Avalon and Leva Bates, the Librarians, coming out. Peter Avalon cuts a promo talking about the town that they're in and how it sucks and whatnot and all that good stuff. From the crowd, out comes Jon Moxley. He comes out and he hits a paradigm shift onto Peter Avalon, grabs the mic, and basically kind of just airs out his grievances because his match against Kenny Omega has now become a lights out match. It's an unsanctioned match. That means anything and everything goes, but this match will not be counted on the record books. Jon Moxley does take umbrage to this and basically threatens to commit murder on Kenny Omega, basically just saying that he's going to kill him. So, rest in peace, Kenny Omega, early on. So there's that. But I actually really like this promo a lot. It's been a very long time since we've seen Jon Moxley in the ring with a live microphone. Like, we've seen promos, we've seen backstage vignettes, but I feel like it's been a very long time since he left WWE. I don't think Mox has ever cut a promo on the stage with a live microphone. So it was really cool to see him do that again. Jon just looked absolutely livid throughout this promo. Just great stuff. See what happens when you just let the man do his thing. Just you see what happens. You get amazing promos like this. So great stuff here by Jon Moxley. Very excited for this match too. And finally, our main event, SCU taking on the Lucha Brothers in what was just an absolute barn burner of a match. Please just go watch this match. I don't really have to tell you how good it was. Just go watch it. I'm really enjoying a lot of what SCU did. I'm not going to lie. Okay, I a moment of truth here. I only knew SCU from the BTE sketch BTE segments where, obviously, the whole "this is the worst town I've ever been in." I'm not gonna lie, I actually, in the beginning, I did find them a little bit annoying, but they did absolutely grow on me, and I kind of really understand them now. And Scorpio Sky, my goodness, this man, like, he can go, dude. Like, I really enjoy watching Scorpio Sky work, as do I with Kazarian. So that was great too. The Lucha Bros absolutely doing fantastic stuff here as well. Finally, we do have Sky hitting a cradle pin onto Pentagon Jr. to win the match. And SCU are your brand new and first ever AEW Tag Team Champions. I am very excited. This is actually the result that I wanted. I wanted SCU to be the first tag champs. I think this means, I do feel like the Young Bucks will absolutely climb the ladder to get to the tag titles soon. And I feel like the Private Party are going to follow soon after. But congratulations to Scorpio Sky and Frankie Kazarian. Looking forward to see who they're going to defend their title against at Full Gear if they do have a title match. We begin NXT with the singer Papi. She is this cute girl with a demon inside her, apparently. I guess, it is Halloween, whatever, and I'm definitely not dressing up like I mentioned. This leads into Papi, like I said. She opens up the show. She then serenades Io Shirai into the ring, and she takes on Candice LeRae. This is our first match of the night. Not a bad match here. Didn't really think too much of it. Obviously, their match at TakeOver was way better, which is to be expected. I'm not surprised. But Io Shirai does bring in a chair and wants to hit Candice with it, but of course the ref says no. Candice tries to take advantage, but it doesn't work. Candice goes for a moonsault, but Io gets out of the way. Candice lands on the chair. 1, 2, 3. Io Shirai does win the match. Afterwards, she starts beating the crap out of Candice LeRae when Rhea Ripley shows up and beats the living hell out of Io Shirai. These 3 women will show up later on in the show. So up next, what is my jacket doing on the ground? Oh, okay. I'm just going to set that right here. Anyway, up next, we did have Finn Balor coming out. So it wasn't a match that happened next. It was a promo. Finn Balor comes out, fresh off of his heel turn. He comes out. He's not doing the, this with the fans anymore. He does it like once, but he ends up just doing the finger guns. So, obviously the real rock and roller is back in full form. Finn Balor takes shots at Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, saying that, 2 months ago I was beaten by what the company deemed the next hottest thing just because he wore a new mask or whatever. And he's like, well, I've taken my mask off. Weird. A lot of masks going on here. Like, my mask, my scary mask by Io Shirai, by Papi for Io Shirai. And now he's saying masks are off and whatever. So anyway, ultimately Finn does call out Johnny Gargano, and I am obviously smelling a match at War Games between these two. This should be a damn good match. I'm really excited for Finn Balor. Now he was right. He's become the hottest thing now on WWE, not just on NXT, just on WWE throughout. Because we've never seen heel Finn Balor in the WWE. We've only seen that in New Japan. So really good to see that. I do hope that he gets a little bit more creative with his face paint when he goes on as whether he's the demon or not. Like, I'd like to see him do that. And frankly, I would love to see a different theme music for him. But then again, this one works too, so that's fine. But overall, really good promo. I just really liked it a lot. Excited to see Johnny Wrestling versus Finn Balor at TakeOver War Games, if that's a match that's going to happen. Up next, we did have Bronson Reed taking on Shane Thorn in a rematch from, I believe, a couple of weeks ago, or some time back. This was a good match here. Again, nothing to write home about, but it was a pretty solid match. I liked it a lot. We did have at one point Shane Thorn hitting a huge, a power slam, I believe, or a suplex onto Bronson Reed. So that was really good stuff. I thought that was just great. And it was good. It was fine. But finally the match ended with Thorn laying prone on the mat, and finally Bronson Reed, or Ozilla as he calls himself, finally hits a huge frog splash onto Thorn to win this match. This was fine. This was good. Nothing much to talk about here, but let's move on. And now we have our WWE Women's Championship match. We have the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, taking on Dakota Kai and Tegan Nox. I guess their Team Kick. That's what their informal name is, I guess. This was a really good match. I absolutely loved every minute of it. It was fast-paced. It was athletic. It was just, kept me at the edge of my seat. Just everything that I absolutely wanted. And might I add, it is so good to see Asuka and Kairi Sane back inside an NXT ring. You could see that these two were able to do a lot more here than they could on Raw and SmackDown. So I am just really thankful to do that. I really hope they do stick around for a while. And just like how Cruiserweight title was branded as the NXT Cruiserweight title, I hope down the line we get the Women's Tag Championships be branded as the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships, because goodness knows they're not going to do a jack squat with them on the main roster. I don't know why they even announced them in the first place when they're not even going to do anything. But anyway, I'm just glad it's on the Kabuki Warriors. Just a lot of fast-paced action here. It's Tegan Nox absolutely on fire. We have one point where Nox does try to hit a Shiniest Wizard onto Asuka, but Asuka does get the knee bar onto Tegan Nox. Obviously the leg was where she injured and whatnot. So that was their good stuff here by all four of these women. Finally, the match does end when Kairi distracts the referee. Asuka sprays green mist onto. After this, we had Shayna Baszler and the Horsewomen coming out into the ring, surrounding the ring. Tegan Nox tries to defend herself as, of course, Dakota Kai is incapacitated at the moment. Rhea Ripley comes in, and she's basically just going for Shayna, but we have Io Shirai interrupt and just completely beat the crap out of her. Bianca Belair comes out, helps out Io Shirai. Then Candice LeRae comes out and she starts beating up on Io and Bianca, helping out Rhea Ripley. We have Jessamyn Duke and Marina Shafir getting involved in the brawl. The Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai being involved. And yeah, I mean, it's just a huge brawl going on here. You can see where this is going. Rhea Ripley and Shayna Baszler kind of having a bit of a stare down, and the whole brawl just kind of goes into bedlam, and everyone is separated. William Regal appears up on the balcony, and he says there's only one solution for this, and that is War Games. So we are getting our first women's War Games match on NXT TakeOver War Games. That is something that I've been wanting for a very long time. A lot of you may know this. So I'm just excited that we're finally getting it here. And of course, later on, it was mentioned that the team captains for both War Games teams will be Rhea Ripley and Shayna Baszler. So we'll see who picks who for this match. So really excited for this one. Next up, we do have Cameron Grimes taking on Tyler Bate after their little altercation last week. This was the sleeper hit of the night. Like, absolutely amazing stuff here. Just like, his buddy Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate is putting on some amazing matches, And, this is nothing new, obviously. I've known this for a while. It was announced that next week we will have Damian Priest taking on Pete Dunne once again in a rematch, because obviously Dunne has some unfinished business. So anyway, Tyler Bate and Cameron Grimes just absolutely doing just amazing stuff in the ring. Cameron Grimes is really good. I really am enjoying watching this man wrestle. And I have seen some of his stuff as Trevor Lee, but I just think now finally seeing him in NXT, where I actually will watch him every week, hopefully, just really made me impressed even more. So I really like this a lot. But the match did finally end when Bate is outside of the ring, but he's distracted by a wild Killian Dane. And, he slides back in the ring, but this distraction allows Cameron Grimes to hit the double knee strike onto the chest, which I forgot what it was called. Yeah, and finally, Grimes does win the match. Afterwards, Killian Dane comes in and beats the living hell out of Tyler Bate to send a message to Pete Dunne. So I'm guessing it's either going to be a triple threat at War Games, or we're going to get Killian Dane versus Pete Dunne at War Games. Either way, this should be a good match. And finally, what is this? What the hell is this doing here? Okay, I'm too old to be playing with toys. What the hell? So we do have our main event. We have the Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly taking on Matt Riddle, Bro, and Keith Lee after what happened last week. This is for the NXT Tag Team Championships, even though I forgot that it was for a minute. But anyway, absolutely amazing match. Really good stuff here. Matt Riddle continues to mock Goldberg in this. Hits a spear and jackhammer consecutively. As a matter of fact, when he hits the spear, he does make that weird face that Goldberg makes when he hits his spear. So I was like, oh my god, this is getting out of hand. Just give these two a match eventually, please. Even if it's in Saudi Arabia, I don't care. Just give these two a match and let them air out their grievances in the ring. Awesome stuff. Keith Lee with some power moves. As a matter of fact, there was a lot of 2-on-1 situations with Keith Lee, Fish, and O'Reilly. Lee absolutely shined in these moments. I feel this was some of his best stuff here. We even had, I believe it was Kyle O'Reilly who hit a huge, no, it was Bobby Fish hitting a huge Samoan drop onto Keith Lee. That was amazing. A lot of big people getting thrown around throughout both shows. Even though, Adam Page isn't like super huge, but compared to Sammy G, he's pretty big. So anyway, but finally we did have the Undisputed Era coming out. You know what happens. Good guys get distracted. The Era hit the high-low onto Matt Riddle and finally win the match. Afterwards, we do have all 4 members of the Era beating up on Keith Lee. Out comes Tommaso Ciampa with a crutch, and he is pissed. And he comes in and just beats the living shit out of the Undisputed Era, and it was just absolutely glorious. He doesn't quite get his hands on Adam Cole, who gets the heck out of Dodge before any more damage can be done to him. The NXT title is at the edge of the ring. Ciampa is trying to go towards it. You can hear the Era saying, "Don't touch that," So that was pretty funny. But anyway, Ciampa looks at the belt, but then picks up the microphone and he looks at it again. And he says, "Goldie, you're going to have to wait. Daddy's going to war." So it looks like we have our men's War Games match taking shape too. I do feel like, obviously it's going to be the Era versus Riddle, Ciampa, and Lee. I do believe they're going to probably add either Dijakovic or Velveteen Dream into the mix. I would say Velveteen Dream because, they kind of beat the living shit out of him. So, there's that. But yeah, great match and an amazing way to end out NXT this week. So, overall, I would say that both shows definitely put their best foot forward, and as they are building towards their respective pay-per-views, with AEW building towards Full Gear and NXT building towards War Games, I think both shows just went all out, no pun intended, on their episodes this week. So really appreciate the effort from both shows. I can't really say which one was better this week. I thought both of them were just really good, so I'm not going to say which one is better. But as far as some of the highlights on both shows, on AEW, I really did like the contract signing segment between Jericho and Cody. That was good stuff. Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks taking on the Hybrid 2 and Kip Sabian. Really good match there. Jon Moxley's promo was absolutely amazing. Just, really refreshing to see a unhinged, uncaged Jon Moxley on the mic. Like, just when he has no restrictions, how great he can be. And of course, the main event, SCU versus Lucha Bros, absolutely fantastic match. On NXT, I did like Candice LeRae versus Io Shirai. That was a pretty good match. Cameron Grimes versus Tyler Bate, like I said, was the sleeper hit of the week, of the night at least. Finn Balor's promo was absolute gold. Both promos on across both shows were really good. So that was great. The build to War Games is looking really good. And the main event, which was the Undisputed Era and Keith Lee and Matt Riddle. What a coincidence! Both shows ended in a tag team match. So for their respective championships, go figure. But anyway, those were my highlights from both shows. Man, okay, where is all this coming from? All right, well, anyway, that pretty much sums it up for this week's episode. Let me know what you guys thought about AEW and NXT in the comment section below. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on social media, and tell your friends about the Nerdy Mark. Thank you so much for your continued support. Thank you so much for watching. This is Sid. You know what? Fine. You know what? You win. I'll be right back.